I want to introduce you to the law offices of Vincent W. Davis at 888-888-6582. They're advocates for the rights of parents, grandparents, and guardians in juvenile dependency courts. Losing a child to a DCFS CPS social worker based on an anonymous call, complaint, or your ex-spouse is not only horrific, but it's commonplace. Everyone will agree that there's nothing more valuable than one's child. You cannot afford to fight this alone. Call the law offices of Vincent W. Davis at 888-888-6582. Connect with an attorney today. That's 888-888-6582. Get your kids back.
Hey everybody, welcome to Fight CPS with LJ. I am so grateful for Mr. Davis. I just have to say that, and I definitely don't say that enough when I'm talking to you guys, because he really started something amazing, and I'm so grateful to be a part of this show and to be here for you guys. And hopefully this offers you some type of solace and or peace in some fashion. I was supposed to have a guest tonight, but unfortunately, she was not able to make it. So it's just me and you. So I guess I just thought maybe I would talk a little bit about my situation. I know a lot of you have asked really a lot of questions about what my whole case has been like, and I really haven't spoke about it a whole lot because I, like you guys, am still trying to navigate and to, fight this so-called justice system. So I thought I would just maybe talk a little bit tonight about what I am currently experiencing. So a lot of you already know, I had a open case plan and, was working it. COVID hit and I work in healthcare. So I was exposed by a positive patient that didn't tell anyone. And we had just coincidentally at the same time put our little one in preschool. So you guys know as well as me, when that happens, they come home and they're, like little petri dishes at the preschool, and they just kind of pass that bacteria around. And so I was mirroring the symptoms of a COVID positive person, and my job needed 3 consecutive negative tests, and I kept testing false positive. We didn't know this until later. So I was the primary breadwinner, and we lost our home, and kind of just everything fell apart when that happened. All through, I think it was about 14 months, my first and hopefully my last ever experience being homeless. We stayed in hotels, I think pretty much every night. And like, we did not have, I think, but maybe one night where we stayed in our vehicle. And it was hard because I had never experienced anything like that. And, it was definitely a humbling experience. So, sorry, there's a dog in the background that I'm house sitting. So I don't want that. Anyway, so it was a humbling experience, and I learned a lot, things that I never wanted to know, and things that, I probably am a better person now for, going through. But so the hard part, I think, was navigating a CPS case, being homeless. I was in the hospital for several weeks because I had come down with bronchitis, and then that turned into a lung infection and then pneumonia. So I just was really hit hard by, I guess, like when I say I was mirroring the symptoms. So we finally, got house. Nice big house, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, lots of space, and it was a blessing. But it was hard work, to, experience not having our child with us 24/7 because, it was a ride that my spouse had given that went south. And we, the goal that CPS gave us for this case plan was reunification. Now, I think that was in late 2020, and now here it is, late 2022, and the goal has always remained reunification, but none of us are together. How in the heck can they explain that and call it reunification and, write in their report that they did everything they could and gave, diligent efforts to, help the family come to, a better understanding than they had, before, and they remedied the situation. First of all, the ride that was given that went south doesn't deem anybody a bad parent or unfit. It was a bad decision, and hopefully, learn from and then some. But I don't see how, separating a family and then continuously writing in these reports that they give to the judge, that, in my opinion, I don't feel like the judge was paying attention to anything other than what was in that report written by them. And then you have the guardian ad litem that seemed to just mirror that same report. And, you guys really should really do your research, because that is all I did in my spare time. And I feel like I had never had spare time. But I constantly, when I wasn't working 12 to 14-hour shifts and then researching how to, find a home in the middle of a pandemic with not a lot of money in our pockets, and then to not have my little one with us every night. It's a lot to go through. And, I think it's really important that you guys remind yourself how stressful going through a CPS case is, how hard, how, just whatever you want to call it. It's not at all fun. And I know that this is going to sound a little crazy, but I am a better person in a lot of ways than I was prior, because, having accountability is very important to me. It's always been, on my mind that I have to do what I say I'm going to do. I have to be a person of action. And I have to take responsibility for the things that, I do that either may impact others may not be the correct thing to do, and own up to making mistakes. I am like painfully aware of how a lot of this world is just not at all like, a lot of people just don't know how to say, hey, I screwed up, I made a mistake. Just fess up to something they did that didn't work out for them, you know what I mean? And I just, like, I don't know how to lie to myself like that, so I really don't know how other people do that. But I just I don't know. I learned a lot going through this, and I I worked my case plan, and I was asked to do a batter's intervention program. This program is 7 months long. I did the 7-month long program, and I am still, I think it is now about 4 months after that 7-month program, going voluntarily. And I'm not doing that because it would appear, nice in my paperwork when I show the judge, or, I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it because this class, like, literally changed my perspective on everything. It really saved me, because I dove into it, and I addressed with myself the stuff that I needed to deal with, that, maybe led me to the situation that we had gotten ourselves in. It wasn't all like our doing, but, I have to have that accountability and responsibility that, I walk my own feet. Nobody walks them for me. So, I dove in to my case plan, and I worked it, and I am still working it, because, I had kind of a checkered arrest history. I don't have any convictions or anything, but a lot of you know that I suffer from PTSD from witnessing the murder and suicide of my mother and my stepfather of 11 years when I was 18. So I went a lot of years without at all addressing that. And it had a profound effect on me. And, I didn't deal with it, so I became a severe alcoholic, and I just was not at all myself. Now, this was prior to our child that we have. I became this person before, and then I somehow took myself out of that, but it wasn't until a lot of damage to myself and to others later. So I had, like, a lot of deep-seated issues that I had to address. And, I don't think that it should have gotten the situation, with us involving CPS trying to take our child and then deem it reunification, with giving us minimal visits, and, just the BS that they, just throw at you, and call it, trying to help the family get, make better decisions and support them. That didn't at all happen. It got worse. Everything just simply got worse. And I am, like, so irritated by that, just, I think this whole organization needs to be like, oops, sorry. I was trying to read the comments and I hit the button. This whole organization needs to be revamped. I mean, it needs to be like really looked into and like discussed on a lot of platforms. So I really just want to encourage all of you, do your research, know your rights, know what you can do, and don't do what you shouldn't do. You know what I mean? Like, our kids need us to get it right for them, and because like you deserve it. And I think that was a big part of my problem for a long time, is I didn't think that I thought I was being selfish by, working on myself and trying to, focus on like all the years of neglect that I had done to myself, not addressing that trauma that I had been through. And it was really just a lot, and but like I said, I am a better person today for having had to be held accountable and responsible, even if it was to myself, for things that I wasn't doing right or getting right, or, I want to be my best self for my son and me, and my family. I desire that change, to that betterment. And, I don't feel that our family was supported by CPS at all. I feel like they just kind of encouraged the separation and then the complete takedown of my family. And I'm like, still, I probably like you guys, like stuck like a deer in the headlights, because I just like, I took a minute and I'm like, holy cow, how did this happen? Like, how did this end up so bad? And, I really, I'm not going to go a whole lot farther into, my story with my case and everything, because I am still going to fight. And, so obviously I do not have, my little one, and me and my spouse are not together, living in the house that was worked so hard to get for all of us, after like a very traumatizing event and then some. So, I'm just deeply saddened by how this organization is not taking accountability for their actions, or should I say inaction. And like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to call that out somehow. And I have to be respectful about it. And I have to be careful and methodical in the way that I address the terrible job that they did. And, because that, like, you have to be very careful about how you talk in court, how you behave. It will and can definitely be used against you. And, I don't know about you guys, but like, I think we have all been through enough to like be dragged through the mud some more. So, when you're in court, be careful, be respectful. Don't speak until you are given that moment to speak, but make sure that you get that moment to speak. I disagree with, a lot of attorneys will tell you, you don't want to show emotion in court, and you don't want to, appear one way or the other. I kind of like think that's ridiculous because like this is a really emotional time. I mean, look at what we are all navigating here, and it's reasonable as human beings to be emotional, to have a hard time with this, to not friggin' be okay for a second. But you don't need to fall apart in court in front of the judge, so you need to just, I guess, one of the biggest takeaways that I want to convey to you guys is make sure that you afford yourself an outlet. That is one thing that I never really, and still have a hard time with giving myself, is that solitude, or that peaceful walk on the beach, or just something that I enjoy for just me. Because if you don't give yourself that outlet, then you are overwhelming yourself on top of what we are navigating in this world. And it's another level of insanity. I'm sure all of you would agree with that. So make sure that you somehow are giving yourself some type of outlet to where you can release these tensions and stress and aggravation and sadness and whatever emotion that you can think of that you are going through and dealing with. And reach out to someone that is maybe navigating a case also. Reach out on our page. Like, let's get talking. Let's talk to each other, and just remind each other that, hey, we're not in this alone. I mean, this is happening across the world, that this organization has gotten so powerful, and they 100% are not accountable for tearing families apart and calling it reunification. Just like this ridiculousness that they, drag you through the system, the judicial system, and they tell you that, that it is to help you and to, better you, and all of these lies. I mean, if you think about it, I think a lot of people, like, let's say, for example, that are in jail, have a mental health issue that has gone maybe long-term or short-term, I guess, unaddressed. Yet they are thrown in jail, put behind bars, and treated like crap, and like they are nobody, because they didn't know how to navigate the mental health stress that, like, it is just to walk through this earth nowadays, and I'm really sad by that, because there's so many people, and I'm sure you would all agree, that are really struggling, and not addressing it, not speaking up, not saying, hey, I'm not doing great, it's a bad day, or just saying something, speaking it out, getting that energy out and expelling it. It is really important that you do not hold that in, because you don't need to feel any worse than you already are right now. B, you don't need to focus on your despair. You need to focus on your kids and getting them back, and working every ounce of energy that you can into whatever it takes to get them back to you. I hate that all of these kids are suffering and being torn apart from their families that love them and care for them, and the kids are not even getting services like they deserve. I mean, it's really just sad that this is all happening constantly. And like, we are just given case plans and tasks and, told to not have emotion, or we're deemed mentally unstable, or, don't be pissed at, your caseworker because they are a certain way, or, like, we're being given a bunch of unreasonable things to do, navigate, and to like put into our minds, as well as work our jobs, live a regular life, and not fall apart somehow. I don't think that's a reasonable request, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. So anyway, I'm gonna stop like being such a chatty Cathy, because I want to address you guys, and I want to read some of these comments. So thanks for listening. I'm still like pushing through it just like you guys are. So let's see. Greg, I need help. CPS violated many of my civil rights. Greg, look up in the state that you live in, look up, navigating through dependency law. Talk to your lawyer. If you have a court-appointed attorney, sucks sometimes. I know a lot of you have not been at all happy with yours, because for many reasons. But like, make your attorney work for you. Like, they're there to make sure that they are protecting your rights and, helping you. But you got to be a part of that, and you have to make yourself a team. I don't know about what your guys' laws are and what states you're in, but I'm in Florida, and in Florida, it literally is spelled out in black and white that everybody involved in the case, with a CPS case, is to work together as a team for the end goal to be met. Look at what ask for documents, ask for your case plan tasks. If you have a case plan, ask questions. Don't just sit idly by, because the time is going to pass and you are going to have like to show, the proof in the pudding. You've got to show that you put forth that effort, made that change, did the things that they are asking to remedy this. This is a very powerful organization that you guys, like, if I'm being honest, we all voted them up to be as like horrendously powerful as they are. We are now saying, wait a minute, like, this is messed up. Like, what are you guys doing? But it's too late. Like, they are already way above where they ever should have been put. I just, like, when the heck did they become advocates for my child's best interest? And I stopped having that, according to them. Yeah, I mean, not, actually, they've never said that, but like, I just don't understand how they can come and take our children and say it's for the children, but literally offer the children no services at all, and separate them from their parents, make the parents do an insane amount of extra to-dos when they're maybe already struggling with some things. I mean, aren't we all? We're kind of all struggling in some aspect. So, like, I think that they are just perpetuating more horrible bully type of behavior. And I'm just disgusted by it constantly. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, Greg, like, learn the laws in your state. Talk to your attorney. Ask questions. Don't just sit idly by. Make sure you know what is expected of you and what your rights are. You don't have to just eat out of the palm of this organization's hand every time that they say, here, eat. You don't have to do that. So it's okay to have a voice. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to not be okay sometimes, but like, just stay focused 100% and talk, communicate, even on here, like, come to my page, like, let's talk. I can't advise you or anything. I'm not an attorney or anything like that. I'm just a regular Joe like you, trying to navigate this, like, just, I don't even know what to call it, nightmare. So, just know your rights. It's so super important, and know specifics about dependency law and navigating that in the state that you live in. Let's see. Sorry, I'm like getting older. I'm starting to squint. They just try to blackmail me. Is that Cass? I like that name. Blackmail me, threatening me with a charge I'm already having dismissed in another court. Cass, same thing happened with my significant other. Basically, he went to jail, and then when he got out of jail, he was told he couldn't, be around his child or me or the home that we had just obtained, based on his being arrested and spending some time in jail. And it wasn't anything violent or super horrendous. But he was completely judged for that. And whether he, took ownership of that, responsibility of that, did his time, got out, and it doesn't matter, because they already had their mind made up, which is ridiculous. And they will try to blackmail and threaten. And you have to, like, decide how you want to navigate that. Had I known all of the things that I know now, I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't, because I know I am the very best person to have my kid. And I'm going to make sure of that. And these people that work for this organization really hurt my family, and they are hurting a lot of families all over the world. And I'm not going to lay down and continue to just take being bullied by people that have no right to continue poking me in the chest, because I have remedied any concern that they could possibly have. So, if you, like I said before, if you have a case plan, if you're asked to do stuff and you've already kind of signed on that dotted line, like we did, just because we didn't know our rights, we didn't, like, this is scary. First time parents that are coming through this, like, I mean, anybody, like, even if you're a seasoned veteran, hopefully you're not, at dealing with CPS, like, it is scary, and it's nerve-wracking, and it's stressful, and it's overwhelming. And, you, like, if you're anything like me, you'll agree to anything to make sure that nobody, like, takes your flesh and blood and separates them from you. Like, it's a legal type of bully that we put in the courts. What the heck did we do that for? I just I just wouldn't allow them to bully you. So, but be careful, tread softly, just know your rights where you're living, in the state that you're living. It's just so important to know. Melina, they won't say they were bad or they made a bad decision. How many people admit they're wrong? Yep. She said, you're probably right. They often make an assumption and somehow that assumption becomes fact. Right. And isn't it crazy too, Melina, that like, I just lost the word, that hearsay is allowed in dependency court, but not allowed in other courts, like in criminal? Why would that be so different when you're like talking about children and lives torn apart? I mean, blood, familial blood is being torn apart and not helped and assisted, like they're documenting in their report that they're giving to the judge, that the judge is just saying, oh, diligent effort made. You guys, you didn't do what they wanted you to do. They wrote it right here, so, it is what they say it is. I just wish a long time ago I had said no to that. But I obviously was meant to, go through the situation for some reason. I just hate that my child had to endure any kind of, separation from his parents, because of this beast of an organization. I'm trying to be careful with my words, you guys. So yeah, 100%. Let's see. Lori just said her name. Hi, Lori. Melina, lucky girl. I wish we had more classes like what you're talking about. Hey, girl, you can put yourself in these classes. If you think that it's going to help you, if you think that it's going to, that you're going to learn something, that you're going to grow, then how does that not help your case, even if it's not a part of your case plan? So you can also, do these things. If you are not asked to take a class that you think that might help, ask if you are in a case plan, if, they can give you a list of approved providers, because they're very particular about that, aren't they, guys? Like, you have to go to their selected people and places, which I, don't entirely agree with that either, depending on the scenario. So just, again, like, do as much as you can, because that's what I did. Like I said, you guys, based only on my arrest history from many years ago, when I was dealing with that trauma, or not dealing with that trauma, my child wasn't even born. I had to take a 7-month batterer's intervention course, and I am still going 4 months voluntary after the fact, because I wish it was offered to me a long time ago, wish I knew about it a long time ago, wish I was like in the right mindset to realize that I definitely needed some class like this. And I really, it helps a lot for me. So I continue to go because my counselor allows me to attend still. And I don't care if it makes an ounce of difference in court, ever, because I am not still going for anyone else but me. You know what I mean? And that was really hard for me to do something for myself, even if it's, talking about anger management for this long. I did, and I'm still doing. So, just do as much as you can, whatever you can. She said, did you know we have to go through grief for them taking our kid? And that it's a major life event. demolished. You're so right. That's exactly what I was saying before. Like, they literally rip you guys apart and then expect you just to keep walking planet Earth as if nothing just blew up in your face. Like, I don't know how to be fake like that, y'all. Do you? Because I was a mess when all this happened, and I just, like, I didn't know how to hide that. I don't know how to, put that away like it's not there. I don't pretend and sweep it under the rug and no, didn't happen. It's not right in front of me, so we're just gonna ignore it. I don't know how to do that because it's my kid, you know? So I don't understand why they expect us to, behave as if nothing happened whatsoever. It was just a little hiccup and we'll be fine. It's a lot more than that, isn't it? um, she says, Melina says she's still fighting since 2017. Dang. That's a long time. Just don't give up no matter what. And you guys, last week, what did we see? If you watched the show with me, I had Nico on, and she, for what did she say? 5 years, zero communication with her child, zero. Terminated rights. Guess where that mom and daughter are tonight? They're home together. I have chills. Together, because she didn't give up. She kept fighting, and she is literally like the reason we all need to like keep telling each other that this stuff actually does happen. If you keep fighting, keep working, don't ever stop. Your kids need you to get it right. And you kind of probably deserve it, most of you, I'm sure. Just if you're doing the right thing, how can you fail? And in the end, you know what I mean? So just never give up. And I know that's been a long time, and I'm sorry. And it sucks a lot. So I think we need to band together, and I'm sure we are a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, 100%. I agree. I just wish I knew exactly how to, drive that force into the courtroom and, hold people accountable for what they have done to families everywhere. It's hard to see, like, we would never get away with some stuff like this, you guys, right? If like, say we're in the, like we were in the criminal system, like you said, they were trying to blackmail you for some stupid charge or whatever. Like, we would be chastised. We would be hung at the cross and set on fire and forgot about. But when they are making these terrible choices and putting in these inaccurate comments on their reports and telling lies, being deceitful, being manipulative, and allowing a complete lack of transparency. I can keep going on and on and on. Why is that okay? But yet we make a mistake and we get our lives ripped apart and then some. I think, like, I felt like my soul had like left my body at one point. These are our children. This is not like some piece of gum you took out of my bag when I wasn't looking type stuff. You know what I mean? And that's, I feel like, how they're addressing all of this all across the country, as it's just, oh, well, we are who we are, and we are big and mighty, and you guys can't do anything about it because we have already been voted in as supreme beings. I mean, just it's the next level of narcissism. You know, it's grotesque. Anyway, she said, not this, these, meaning these professionals, right? It's our life. Yeah, yeah, I know. Or not so professional, if you ask me. No, yeah, right. You got it right there. Support, though, this is key. 100%. And I cannot reiterate that to you guys enough. Make sure you have support. Make sure you're also offering support, because that's going to help you also get rid of that energy that you need to expel. This is a crappy situation on another level. And like, don't do what I did and just shove everything down, swallow it, keep taking, where it's like you feel like you are inhaling only. Don't do that, because you have to exhale also when you're breathing. But I took in and sucked in way too much, and I didn't at all allow myself any kind of expulsion of that energy. And like, you got to get that out. I don't care if you're yelling at a wall or whatever you got to do to allow yourself some stress relief. But it's really important to find and get support from healthy, positive resources. Not if they are doing drugs, they're alcoholics, they're not on the right track themselves. Get the heck away from those type of people. Like, your kids need you to get your act together. And this is not a game. CPS is not playing. They kind of are playing, but they are playing this game very, very terribly. And I never wanted to play a game, not with them, or anybody. I didn't ask to play a game with my life. And it's very serious situation. So just make sure that support you guys are getting is healthy and positive and nurturing towards your end goal, which hopefully is to be back with your little ones. Lena said, no one gets it. They tell it, they are in it. And then there are so many different circumstances when reality helps us parents with our kids. Don't just rip them away. Wow, you hit this on the head. Yeah, I just, it's all I think about, like, constantly, how they just, they give you an exceptional and extraordinary, in our case, weight on your shoulders when we already had a huge one, and then, expect you just to figure that stuff out, and you better get it right 100% of the time, or guess what? You are no longer parents. That's a really crappy, comparison, because it's not, that's not apples to apples, oranges to oranges. That is like just way up here wrong what is happening. And like, we got to do something about it. And I don't friggin' know what, but like, if we get talking like this, you guys, like, communicating and getting this out and talking it out, you'll have more room up here to exhale, to breathe, to be able to calmly address your specific scenario. And it's so important that you offer yourself that in some fashion, let's see. Yeah, Melina says, jump. Yeah. And kind of, the phone is like not. And not a damn thing changes. We deal with horrible people that already see us as horrible. Yeah, they're very judgmental, aren't they? When did their opinion become the opinion of the state? 100%. What is your page? Fight CPS with LJ. You can find me right here. You can message me on here. You can like the page. We can talk. And you know, I encourage everybody to do so. We all got to reach out. We all got to talk, communicate, like vent. You know, I can't hold this stuff in anymore, and I've done that too long, you know, so don't do that, you guys. Melina says they will use anything. I had cops as character witnesses lying on the stand. You have to just really be careful. No one knows how to care for your kid but us. 100% right. Patty says, in 2020, I had a stillborn baby boy at 30 weeks. Oh, Patty, I'm so sorry. I lost too much blood. Doctor waited 24 hours to order blood transfusions. With that 24-hour hospital claims drugs were in my stomach and my stillborn baby's cord blood. However, an autopsy was performed on the placenta, and my son and medical examiner report stated none detected. Oh, I have chills. Investigation worker forged confirmatory results in October 29th, 2020, and took my then 0-year-old, now 3, still fighting, gave documentation proving every lie from all 4 workers. Wow, Patty. I can relate, girl, like 100%. And this is on another level, just below the belt. Keep fighting. I know it's hard because it's been a minute since your case has been going on, and you've already really experienced a lot of loss. I mean, and then you're just pushed around because you don't know how the heck to deal with that trauma. It's really starting to piss me off, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, just, I don't know about you guys, but I don't like bullies. And I'm not one of those people that just like sit by and watch a bully be a bully either. You know what I mean? So just support people that are going through this, you guys. Like, I just read you what Patty's going through. That's exceptionally rough, and I am so very sorry for your loss. And you're gonna get that 3-year-old back. You may not know how, it may not feel like it sometimes, but you're the parent. You deserve your child. Go get your baby. Keep working, keep fighting. Don't give up, ever. Oh God, I'm so sorry to hear stuff like this. Joe said, yeah, exactly. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the agreement. Sorry, I'm a little behind on the comments, you guys. Melina, the effed up thing is depending on where you live. I can say Thurston County really had it way better. They should teach other places. Yeah, I agree. You know, it depends on where you live. But it also depends on you and the effort you put forth, and you got to fight for your kids. If you got to walk across, you know, fire to make stuff happen, it's ridiculous because, like, you know, again, they are not being reasonable, but we got to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, because they are just not gonna go away. You know what I mean? And this is like not some quick over the night type of fix that we are going to be able to remedy, even if we have a great idea to be able to like make sure that they are held accountable for what they have done. I mean, you guys think about all the families that have been torn apart. that they were in so much despair. Some of them committed suicide. Some of them became drug abusers. Some of them alcoholics. Some of them just never really recover from being torn from their children, their flesh and blood. Now, I know that there are people out there that have done terrible things and they should not have kids in their care at all and need, other assistance. But there's a lot of us that are being torn, and like, why? Why in the hell is that even somebody's choice to make in my life with my child? I don't get that. So, like, it's all over again, re-victimizing and re-torturing me based on the trauma that I didn't know how the hell to deal with. Nobody gave us a book on life, right? That's what they always say. Kids didn't come with an instruction manual. Well, neither did the ridiculous hard times that we are all going through and experiencing. And not for nothing, you guys, like, I have to say this because I've been like thinking about this a lot lately. We are the only species on the earth that, because you did something hurtful to me, I'm going to hurt you. A lot of like people are behaving this way. And that is exactly, I feel, what CPS does is you did wrong, so we're going to do wrong to you. We're the only species that does that to each other. It's vindictive. It is nasty. It is not right. It's not okay to do. It is definitely okay to think about some thoughts that you want to think sometimes. I don't ever want to do that to anyone else, hurt them because they hurt me, because how in the hell am I any better than them at that point? You know what I mean? Just doesn't make any sense to me, you guys. So Joe says, my wife and I just had our 14-month-old daughter taken on Thursday. Oh, I'm so sorry. Luckily, she's with my sister, but we're not allowed to see her but 1 hour a week. I'm scared because I am so confused. Advice. I dealt with the same crap. And it was like about the same age. That's crazy. And I got 1 hour a week for, I think it was like over a year. And I didn't know how to do anything about it. It just like kept, like they just kept inundating me and my partner with stuff to do and like, scare tactics and, just like constantly keeping and instilling that fear and not like addressing the family's needs. You got to know your rights, you guys. It is so very important. Know the rights that you have. And guess what? Your kids also have rights. You demand to see your child. You do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Know the plan. Come up with a plan. Strategize. Talk with your lawyer. Ask questions. Have a voice. Don't sit idly by. Do something, because that is detrimental, in my opinion. And actually, I think in the Academy Board of Pediatrics, however you say it, that it is very detrimental to a child under the age of 5. And I think any child, or really anybody, it is very detrimental to their development and growth by being ripped from their parents and then given minimal visits a week, and nobody does anything about it because they just say, well, it's whatever the caregiver can do or provide. Well, no, it's not, because that's minimal, and that is unacceptable, is what you got to do. You got to have that voice. You have to speak up and speak out. Just know your rights. Very important. Sorry you're going through it. Jolene, I just showed up about 10 minutes ago. It's okay, no problem. We'll be back here every Tuesday at 10 Eastern Standard Time. And there's other shows throughout the week too. So please, like our page, come talk on our pages, watch the videos. There's a lot of knowledge out there to be had. So just really do that research, okay? Wow, you guys, I chatted this whole entire hour and I didn't even realize an hour had gone by. Melina, great point. Keep a diary of what's going on. Record all conversations, because she's not paying down for this fight. Me either. I lost my friggin' sanity from our own state. I know. Yeah. And they want us to call it home. Melina says, ask your judge what you are supposed to do, and she guarantees they won't know the answer. Jolene, resentment. Yeah. 100% you're going to start harboring that resentment unless you get some type of support, some encouragement, positivity, healthy people in your corner to help you navigate through this. I'm trying to keep my, respect about me and my words. But it's hard because they're just another level terrible. How about foster parents say that they come over, be in the kid's life, not realizing that we can't just break court orders, then the foster parent judges you because I can't go against the order. Yeah. It's hard either way. It's hard for the foster parents. It's hard for adoptive parents. It's hard for freaking everybody, and they're not helping. I think they're hindering way more than they are helping. And why the hell isn't this all over the news, all of the time? You know what I mean? Do you mind if I ask Joe how the child is now and if you have regained custody? So Jolene, you can message me. I already talked a bit about my situation, but I will not be able to go much further because of certain circumstances. But if you want to message me, we can talk, no problem. But listen, you guys, I think that we are going to get through this crazy time some way, somehow on the other side. It's definitely not unscathed. But we got to help each other. We got to remind each other of what is helpful, what is positive, what's encouraging, what propels forward. Don't get stuck in despair, sadness. Don't do that to yourself. I am the number one person that you definitely want to hear from if that is the route you are taking, because it's not going to help you. It's going to make everything worse, and your kids need you to get it right. You got to get it right for you and them. And we're going to navigate this somehow together, you guys, just like we do every week. So thank you so much for joining me. Fight CPS with LJ. Come see me next week. I'll be here on Tuesday nights, Eastern Standard Time, 10 o'clock p.m. And I'm here for you guys. Comment, like the page, watch our other shows throughout the week. We have a lot of communication to be had out there. So you guys are not alone, okay? Message me, feel free. I'm game. Let's have a chat. You guys have a wonderful night. Thanks again for joining me, and let's fight the good fight, okay? Don't give up. Bye.